So, who would have thought that distilling cesium at, oh, what did I reckon, 600 degrees Celsius could go wrong so spectacularly, especially after I had spent so much time planning for every possible thing that could go wrong. And I even left a little prelude here. It caught fire. Guess why? Below. And let's see who got closest to the mark. Well, no, it didn't drop into water. No, it wasn't the towel getting things wet, or me sweating, or reacting to oxidizers. Now we're going to need more than that. Some leaks? No. Epoxy failure? No. Overpressure? Afraid not. Yeah, Brussels. Good suggestion, but no. Paper towels. As long as you're okay and wore some protective gear. Yeah, I wore some protective gear. What else? One of the welds failed. Sorry, my welds were up to the task here. I think lithium got into the glass container. Well, why should that be a matter? Why should that matter? But it actually turns out that Alexandria music bullseye. My guess is lithium ate away with the wells. Again, a good suggestion. But it was something. Yeah. These are things I was all genuinely worried about. But I can actually tell you what went wrong. And it goes back to this video from a few months ago now. Let's play it. The metal should be almost as good. So, lithium, sodium, potassium, anything. Lithium is a nightmare for glassware. Lithium, once it gets hot, a few hundred degrees, it'll actually start to chemically react with the glass, and it's just a runaway thing. It just eats through the glass like it's nothing. The glass cracks, the whole thing catches fire. Lithium fires are all but impossible to extinguish. You basically got to let them burn. You smothered them with argon. Yeah, lithium. I'll get some video footage of it sometime. Yes, I will get some video footage of it sometime. So what actually happened is either when I was loading this, a little piece of lithium bouncing around on the inside managed to get into the transfer tube, or when this boiled at some point, it carried a little bit of lithium over. Because it was quite an exciting distillation, actually. Let's see if we can actually... Yeah, there's a rather worried guy. That's me dousing it down, making sure it's all cool. So I think I might make a video on the Thunderfoot channel about the full distillation. It's quite entertaining. But what happens at some point is once it starts distilling over, I get a small fraction of what I was expected, even though I was absolutely roasting this thing, right? So it turns out my cooling was too good here, and I'd blocked this with solid cesium. The cesium had actually solidified, and so when I warmed up this a little, a whole load of cesium gushes over, but it just fills up the tube here. Let's see if we can actually pull up a little blurb of that. In fact, I think I might even have it happening. Okay, that's what it looks like when it's full of cesium. And do I have it? Oh, no, there's still cesium in there. Right, the constrictions like this are made nice and thin, such that you heat the glass and the vacuum pulls it all together and you get a nice seal. This is a brake seal here, not a bong. So you get your cesium all in there under vacuum and you're happy. Problem is, of course, there's a little piece of lithium in here. And at that point, you are absolutely screwed, right? In order to seal this under vacuum, you've got to heat this up and melt the glass. But lithium in contact with glass, not so good. So I deliberated over this for like 20 minutes. What the hell do I do? It's all under vacuum, so I'm sort of safe from that point of view. Or I can fill the kit up with the argon, which eventually I did because I wanted to see if I could push all this through. And eventually I realised that actually no, it's all melted and gone through. But I can see there's a little bit of lithium. I can see it. It's just a little bit of lithium stuck there. And eventually I decide, well, might get lucky. There's not much lithium there. And hopefully what will happen is, all right, it might react with the glass up here. But as long as I can get a seal down here, I'm fine. As you can see, I've got quite a lot of cesium in here. You know, there's 100 odd grams of cesium, about 50 odd mils. So anyway, this is where it all gets exciting. So I've decided I'm going to go for it. I'm going to cut it. It's quite noisy, by the way. I'll need to do a lot of editing for this video. I'm being real gentle heating it up here because I got no surprises.
There's lithium, it's reacting with the glass.
That's it.
Oh,
Right.
this is very bad news. It's cracked the glass.
Let's crack the glass.
Oh, this is exceptionally bad news.
Right, now you've really got the lion by the tail. In fact, even from this point, you can see where the glass has started to turn to silica. Now, right. So I decide that I'm going to go for it. I've got to go for it.
I'm going to try and seal it anyway.
Yeah, keep one hand on it, because that might
yeah,
happen.
That's what lithium does.
Right, so that's the lithium. It eats through the glass, then it cracks the glass, and it's generated so much heat in doing that that it catches fire. But it's not done yet. Right, now the nice thing is, this is all full of argon. I filled the whole thing up with argon, so the air really doesn't come into here at any appreciable rate. So in the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look around, I'm going to find a bung that I can stick on the top of that, which basically will seal it. That was actually fairly successful.
Yeah,
Meanwhile, the lithium is doing the business. And you know it's lithium because lithium burns very bright and gives off relatively little vapor. It's almost a sort of thermite type reaction that, you know, lithium plus silicon dioxide gives lithium oxide plus silicon.
Right. So how the fuck am I going to seal this? In the first instance, I'm just going to...
Right, I'm perfectly aware that at the moment this will probably catch fire, but I don't really care because almost all the fire hazard, if you like, I've got in my other hand. This, there's not really enough to do anything significant there.
Right, that's why you should never get lithium. Right, there's nothing you can do about it. All you can do...
yeah, there is nothing you can do about it. Lithium burns so hot that literally the only thing that you can do is try and blanket it with argon. And you've got to do it for a long time. It takes a long time for the lithium to cool down. So in practice, the nice thing is it doesn't give off much in the way of vapor.
Right, that's why you should never get lithium.
Right, so virtually all the fumes coming off there are, you know, from...
Right, there's nothing you can do about it.
The cesium, when it burns, by the way, cesium oxide is significantly volatile. That'll give off loads of smoke. But yeah, that's the
all you can do is...
Yeah, you cut off the air and it's safe. But the real problem is once you get the lithium reacting with the glass, it's unstoppable. There's nothing you can do about it. You sort of just got to watch it. From the second it starts reacting with the glass, every single time it's been the same. That it looks like there's nothing happening. Then it cracks the glass. Then it's so hot that when the air comes in, it catches fire and it unstoppably burns until the lithium is gone.
Cut off the oxygen. The one nice thing is the lithium fire doesn't really give off much of the smoke. Right? If you do that with cesium, it absolutely stinks.
Yeah, so this is another thing. Lithium like this, not so bad. If you get burning sodium, burning potassium, it gives off a choking white smoke. Lithium, really not so much. So anyway, that was all because one tiny piece of lithium came all the way down here and landed in the constriction and utterly screwed over my ability to seal this. So as you see, I've got this sort of rubber super seal. Turns out they're pretty decent. That's perfectly good. The remaining cesium I will redistill at some point, although there is a slight problem there. I don't know whether you'll be able to see it in this one. But you can actually see in the cesium there is another small, tiny piece of lithium. So the original plan was I was going to melt that onto another glass vial, then I could just distill it from there to there. That's actually relatively straightforward. What's not so straightforward is floating in the cesium, I can see there's another little bit of lithium. So if I do distill that, lithium melts at about 200. The second that gets in contact with the glass, it's absolutely game over for the kit. So I can't actually redistill this as it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm just get a needle, polypropylene turns out. You can handle cesium quite easily in polypropylene. I'll just suck it out with a syringe and probably filter it actually. Just put it through a polyethylene filter and that should clean it up fairly well. So what did I really learn from all of this? Well, the most important thing is when you come to do your distillation, which can get really quite impressive at some points. Yeah, so that. Is you need a mesh. You need a mesh somewhere in here such that it stops stuff from falling down here. Or you distill it through some iron wool or something. But yeah, okay, so there you go. I promised you that at some point I would show you what it's. I would get you some. But impossible to extinguish. You basically got to let them. Some nightmare footage of lithium reacting with glass. So I hope you enjoyed that. And yeah, the last video, which was just going over the safety features of this reaction, got demonetized. So yeah, if you want to support this channel by giving it a thumbs up or on Patreon, that would be fantastic. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that, and see you next time.